We're looking at the base 2022 Audi e-Tron Quattro. This car has a base price of $65,900, and with the Premium Plus package, extra cost paint, trailer hitch, etc., is MSRP of $78,245 and has an EPA range of 222 miles. This is the base car that we'll be looking at, and just down from it there is the E-Tron S. Whole different machine. We'll be looking at that a little bit later. And but the base car, as you can see, is relatively plain, even though this one does have some options. The S is 2 inches wider, and instead of one motor on each axle to provide all-wheel drive, the S has 2 motors on the rear axle, which not only participate in all-wheel drive, but also, since they operate independently, operate to enhance torque vectoring for greatly enhanced cornering.
Hi, and welcome to EV Adventures Rob. I'm Rob, and we're on an EV adventure. Actually, we are at Audi of Des Moines, a Lithia dealership, and my good friend, the general manager, George, is allowing me to compare the Audi e-Tron that I'm sitting in right now with the Audi e-Tron S, which is the sportier model. Very cool yellow brake calipers, etc. But we're in the e-Tron right now, and let me show you around. Okay, so the door armrests are at least partially leather, and the doors are primarily plastic with some nice looking open pore wood in gray. Very, very nice. And the center stack consists of a dedicated panel for the heating and air conditioning, and then the panel here for a variety of things, and then the panel in front of me that can be configured to be a traditional gauge cluster or to have navigation in front of you. And then the steering wheel is a nice quality leather with, I really enjoy feeling the stitching of leather that way. And the buttons on this side change your view. And let's change that. Okay, that puts the map in the middle. Other data, sound, back to the map. Then that way, and I have to say that is my favorite, that the map is large, but you still have access to your data, your power and speed data. So I'm changing with this roller on the steering wheel, just changing our zoom level on the navigation map. Very nice. I like that. The paddles behind the steering wheel are set to control regen And coming over here, lights and window and mirror switches. And there is in the on the side view mirror an indicator for blind spot, which is great. And yeah. Now, let's take a look at the most important part. Cup holders. There we are. And those can be covered up. One of the things that I think is perhaps the best about this car, you can rest your hand on this leather, really soft leather covered handle and move this switch. We're in neutral. Okay, push the button to put it in park. And here's the parking brake. You can take that off. Start the vehicle. We weren't started, so we do have a manual button press so that you know whether it's running. I've been driving Tesla and Lucid too long. So now that it's running, we pull it back into gear, put it in neutral. That's good for a car wash. Then reverse. Now with reverse, we have a bird's eye view 360 degree camera, and then our backup indicator with lines showing us where we will wind up if we continue going the way that we're going. Right, and so that is to the rear. Let's see what, so we do have the 3D camera on this car, much as the Lucid does. Just for reference, the outside of this car is silver. Does not bother me one bit that the card in the pictogram here is not silver, but I love this for parking or tight spots or whatever. So let's see here. Okay, we're back to the rear. All right, so we're going to drive to the Electrify America station and charge it up, see what's happening. Hi again. So we're in the 2022 Audi e-Tron S, and things are pretty much the same, except for the fact that in the console box right down here, there is an induction charger for your phone, which is very nice. And the steering wheel is just a little bit more sporty with the perforated leather. And I did want to show you down here under Drive Select. Looking here, we're on Sport Dynamic, Sport Auto, Sport or Deep Drive Comfort, excuse me, Drive Efficiency, All Road, okay, Audi's badge name that they've used for their all-wheel drive station wagon in the past. Off-road, okay, electronic stability control is off during off-road. Individual, that's not set, and then back to Sport Dynamic. Let's try efficiency and see what happens. All right. And again, nice padded place to set your hand, and you change gears by, we'll put it in reverse, and change gears just by moving this little block within this handrest, which is great.
In terms of driving the S, it feels more planted. Your seating position, while it's very much the same as the Quattro, you just feel a bit more like you're driving a sports car. A lot of that has to do with the fact that there's more power, a lot more power. Looking at the car, the more sculptured air intakes in front, the more sporty finish of the tail end, and certainly the wider stance provided by the wider wheel arches gives it a much more aggressive look. In terms of driving modes, even if you're driving in one of the economy modes or comfort modes, this thing just has a lot more punch than the Quattro. The Quattro definitely feels like you should have groceries in the back. This feels like at least the eggs would be plastered against the inside of the tailgate. Both of these SUVs are low in the range category. 222 for the e-Tron Quattro and 208 for the e-Tron S. With that little difference, go for the S. The brakes are better. The dual motors on the rear axle are definitely better. As I've mentioned, they operate independently and so can put some reverse spin on the inside wheel on a turn and make you feel as if you are, well, and you actually are, cornering more acutely. For the $10,000 extra, they feel about the same inside. The fit and finish, just about the same. They both have too much plastic, too little natural material or soft touch material, but they both have great electronics, really nice stereo, and would be a blast to have for an around town car or something for a road trip. Thank you for listening. Take care. Hit the like button for me if you can, and leave any questions or comments down below. I'd be really interested to see what your thoughts are about both of these cars. Until we meet again, take care and drive safely.